Hello everyone and welcome to LEGO Star Wars Hot Takes episode 11. As always, if you have any hot takes or controversial opinions about LEGO Star Wars that you want me to discuss in next week's video, make sure to go ahead and leave them in the comments below. But hopping right into it, starting off with Jimmy the Lord, he says hot take Clone Wars style minifigures are better than most of the regular minifigures. The eyes aren't that big as everyone says they are, and they are perfectly done based off the source material. Maybe I just had the nostalgia glasses on, but they just seem so great. Now there's some things you said that I agree with and some things you said that I disagree with. First of all, yes, most of the characters are very accurate to the source material and they do look pretty good. Those characters are most notably the Clone Wars version of Anakin Skywalker, and then the Clone Wars version of Obi-Wan Kenobi, most notably the one that came in the 2008 gunship. The eyes on those figures are bigger than the eyes on normal figures, although they don't look bad and they look very accurate, like you said, to their source material. And I think that's one thing that people need to understand with these Clone Wars style minifigures, is that LEGO was trying to make them accurate to the source material, and the Clone Wars characters do look pretty unnatural. Although there are some figures where the Clone Wars style characters just did not really fit into a LEGO formed minifigure. The most notable ones that I can think of are obviously the Padme that came in the Malevolent set, and then also the Clone Wars Mace Windu that came in Mace Windu's Jedi Starfighter. I mean, I guess you could see that LEGO did their job of recreating the source material, although on a LEGO minifigure it just does not look that good. And I think when people talk about ugly Clone Wars minifigures, they're mainly referring to these two, maybe a few others, but these are the most notable ones. So again, I agree that LEGO made them accurate to the source material, and there are a few that look good like Anakin and Obi-Wan, but there's also some pretty notable bad ones like Padme and Mace Windu. Warpath says, hot take, I think the New Republic gunship is the best version than all the others due to it having a more accurate size/scale, since the 2008/2013 versions were the same size as the LAAT, meaning the dropship included in the dropship and AT-OT set, which doesn't make any sense because in lore the dropship is much bigger than the gunship, which should be much smaller in comparison. For a better example, the Star Wars Micro Galaxy shows off the actual size of the vehicle in lore. Gosh, that was kind of a pain to read because you were lacking some punctuation, but first of all, I did to say from a size perspective, the new one is still a little bit undersized. I'm not sure if you own the new one yet, but the most notable part of it being undersized is that when you put the troopers in the cockpit, they are pretty crammed in there, and they just don't look to scale at all. Also, the overall height of the gunship is just a little bit too short. I do have to say that in the 2013 model, the actual hangar area where the troopers fit inside the gunship is a little bit oversized, but the overall height of the gunship as a whole is pretty much 100% accurate on the 2013 version, as well as the size of the cockpits and the size of the wings. Really the only thing the new one got right is the height of the hangar where the actual troopers stand inside, but the height of the overall gunship is just way too short. And also, like I mentioned, the cockpits are just a little too small, meaning they're not deep enough, and also the front section of the gunship is not wide enough, making the troopers look a little bit bigger in the cockpits than they are supposed to. And speaking about overall look, I just think the 2013 version is a lot smoother and a lot sleeker as well, and there aren't as many sharp edges as there are on the newer version. And also, when talking about the dropship, the LEGO dropship is a very massive set, but it's actually still just a little bit undersized, like just barely undersized. If you want to see its actual size, just go look at some mocks, or just simply look at pictures from the Clone Wars or Episode 2. Don't get me wrong, LEGO's version is almost there, it's just still a little bit too small, so I don't really think that's worth comparing to the 2013 gunship. Binks the Cat says, hot take, the Spider Droid in the ATT was a good inclusion in the set. It might be inaccurate, but it's the first Spider Droid that we got in a while. Now the first thing I want to say is thank you for actually giving me a good hot take, and some of you guys really need to take notes on this, because most of what you guys give me are just popular opinions, and I'm just not going to discuss because these videos are about controversial opinions that people mainly won't agree with. So if you're in the comments saying, oh, we need more Imperial battle packs, or oh, we need more droid battle packs, I'm just not going to discuss those. So anyways, back to the comment, yeah, I'm mostly gonna have to disagree with it. I mean, I guess you could say it's a good inclusion just because it adds something extra to the set, although honestly, I don't think anyone's opinions would change on this set even if the Spider Droid wasn't included. And also, this wasn't the first Spider Droid that we got in a while. The last one before this, I'm pretty sure, was in the 20th anniversary Clone Scoutwalker, which was in 2019, which was only 3 years prior. So I wouldn't call it a good inclusion, it's kind of just a take it or leave it situation. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of us own a Spider Droid just because LEGO has put them in so many sets, and they're all relatively the same as well, so it was just nothing special to get another one in the ATTE. Although obviously I think one thing we can all agree on is that the ATTE should have included a Crab Droid. John-L1K, I don't know how to say his name. Anyways, he says hot take, minifigures aren't that important in UCS sets. A couple of good examples is the LEGO Death Star 2 or the original LEGO Star Destroyer. Now I can't understand where you're coming from, although the sets you listed as examples are very old UCS sets. The original UCS Star Destroyer and then the Death Star 2 were some of the first UCS sets ever made, and they were also released in the time when LEGO did not put minifigures in their UCS sets. LEGO really didn't start to put minifigures into their UCS sets until the late 2000s and the early 2010s, and then in around 2013 and 2014 is when they started putting some very high quality exclusive minifigures in these UCS sets, and then from then on they have continued that trend, and LEGO doing that really did set the standard for what we want to expect in a UCS set. And then they continued making the figures more high quality with giving them arm printing like the 2015 UCS Slave 1 with Boba Fett, and then that became a new standard, so now we always expected arm printed figure in UCS sets. So basically over the years, the more that LEGO advanced these figures, the higher our expectations got. So now in 2023, obviously it's just expected to get a very high quality minifigure along with your UCS model. And also you are paying very high prices for these sets, so I think it's best that LEGO puts as much detail as they can into the actual model and as much detail as they can into the minifigure. So yes, over the years as LEGO has advanced, minifigures and UCS sets have become significantly more important and definitely a large part of why people buy the sets. I am Aldi Sith says, hot take, the dark orange battle droids are a lot more accurate than the sand red ones, that the dark orange ones are more similar to the color of the terrain, which is more accurate. Now I'm going to disagree with you here. I do think the original sand red ones from 2003 are more accurate to the battle droids that were seen in episode 2, because the actual droids seen in episode 2 do have a bit of a pinkish red tint to them, and I just think LEGO did a better job at capturing that with the original sand red battle droids than they did with the dark orange ones that were released in 2013. Although there are some pictures that do depict the actual Geonosis battle droids to be dark orange, and also in Battlefront 2 they are sort of a darkish orange color. I don't know, I guess they're both accurate to different materials in a sense, but if you're looking strictly just at the movie, I think the 2003 sand red ones are a lot more accurate than the 2013 dark orange ones. And what says, hot take, Ahsoka clones look so goofy with orange and blue color combo that doesn't match in any way. At least adding some blue parts on the helmet or orange ones on the body would make them so much better. And yeah, I do pretty much agree with you. I do think it does look kind of out of place to have a dark blue 501st body along with a bright and vibrant orange helmet. I mean, I don't think it looks bad in any way, I just think it looks kind of awkward. And yes, you're right, they would look a lot better if there were orange parts on the body. And I mean, again, like I said, it doesn't look bad, it's just kind of awkward. And I mean, the patterns on the helmet do look cool, although I still think the drastic contrast between the blue and the orange could have been mixed around a little bit better. Although you do have to remember that in universe, this Legion was made up for Ahsoka, which essentially was just 501st clone troopers with orange helmets. Thomas Kirkham says, hot take, LEGO should only have one wave per year. I think it will build more excitement to have a massive Christmas release and give LEGO more time to work on and refine sets. Now from a hype perspective, this does sound kind of cool, but I feel like this isn't a very good idea because there would just be so many negative consequences from the community and for the community, and also for LEGO as a business. I mean, yeah, it would be exciting to be anticipating a drop the whole year, but also that would give us much higher expectations for each individual set, which in return would probably cause more complaining from the fans to LEGO. Also from a fan's perspective, if you're a collector that collects every set, it would be much harder for you to be able to get every set if they all dropped at once. So, I mean, LEGO releases like 40 or 50 Star Wars sets a year, and if they all just dropped on the same day, that would just be so much money for everyone that wants to be able to get every set. And also spreading them out throughout the year just makes it less boring for us as fans. So, I mean, the 1 or 2 month gaps between sets now are already get to be pretty long, but imagine waiting a whole entire year just to see new sets. I just don't think it'd be worth it for us as fans, and I don't think it would be a good business move for LEGO at all, as they wouldn't be able to get as many sales, and they would be pressured to meet our raised expectations of waiting so long, which would ultimately lead to bigger disappointment for us and a lot more stress on LEGO. Anyways guys, that's gonna do it for this week's video. As always, if you have any hot takes or controversial opinions about LEGO Star Wars that you want me to discuss in next week's video, make sure to go ahead and leave them in the comments below. And if you're new, please consider subscribing, and if you want to check out more of my videos, you can see them on the end screen right now.